Through the fire and through the flame. Ember is the name of this game. So, Ember. Very powerful Warframe. A lot of you should at least know that by taking a look at her and seeing other people use her, if not profiles. She's the very first offensive Warframe in the game. Had a lot of history with it. It's gone through many changes. And now, it's ready for a lot of combat. But how do you properly use Ember? Ember is pretty much the base of offensive. It's meant entirely for those people who are willing to damage all the enemies. That's what offensive means for Warframes. It means every ability must be counted towards harming the enemy. But her stats. She starts off with 100 health, 100 shields, 100 armor, and 150 power, which is nice. She's a caster. Now, in terms of surviving the enemy, the idea of Ember is actually to move rather quick around the enemies, never to really stand in one spot. All of your abilities will take care of the enemies for you. What you have to do is survive. Ember is a bit of a risk player because she stands quite close to the enemy while using her abilities. Almost all of them have to be used in relatively close proximity to them. So, for those who play defensively, or even strategically, it may not be the wisest idea to take Ember. Maybe a different offensive may be better for you. But for the rest who want to really get in the enemy's face, there's really no better Warframe. Maybe Atlas contender, but we'll talk about him in another time. Alright. In terms of getting Ember, you can get her from defeating the boss at Saturn, Sargus Brook. Or you can straight up buy her, if that's what you want. But in terms of using her powers, it's all relatively pretty simple. Nothing's difficult here. The first ability, you got a basic fireball. Almost at the velocity of a basic bullet. Very quick, and quite powerful too. But you must directly hit your enemy because there's almost no splash damage. Moving up, we got Accelerant. Accelerant will stun nearby enemies and buff the fire damage that you do. That's important for later, as I'll show you. Third one is Fire Blast. Fire Blast is possibly the weakest of her move. It's a defensive move, but it only hurts enemies so long as they're in the fire. If they're inside your ring, they won't be harmed. Now, Whirl and Fire is where you want your damage to be. It's where you can literally sit there and let your powers work for you. But anyway, a level 30 build. From level 0 to 30, here we are. Put a rifle amp on, and that's the polarity. I just squeeze on a plane flow, a streamline. You need your redirection of vitality for this Warframe, you need them. And you also got continuity, I just squeeze on. It's not bad. I didn't focus on power strength just yet. Because to be honest, Ember's plenty powerful. But that's only for a basic level 30 build. Through many formulas, Ember can be drastically improved. It would improve the power strength, it would improve the reach, and even better duration. Because the Whirl and Fire constantly drains from your energy pool. It's not a countdown ability. So that Accelerant. What's important about Accelerant is it increases your overall fire damage from everything you do with fire, even your weapons. So you can see the damage multiplier is actually 2.5. That's 2.5 times. So my Whirl and Fire does 400. So 2.5 times equals 1,000 damage. Pretty much a big improvement, as you can see now. Everything else, though, is pretty much minimal. But now we're going to select some enemies, some chargers, level 35. The Fire Blast? It does pretty darn good still. Not the really sole focus. You don't use Fire Blast like this, but I'm just trying to get my point across. Fire Blast is best used to hit one enemy once and just run, or to finish him off with your weapon. So when he's on fire, he can't really defend himself too terribly well. So that's the idea with it. Well, you can use your Fire Blast however you want, but it's best used as a hit and go. Not really used as group control like this, or crowd control. I don't particularly recommend using like that. It's not very effective. But anyway, the Accelerant. I'll be using my ball flamethrower here. Because he does pretty darn good damage, but when I try Accelerant on, boom, they die instantly. So that's 2.5 times the damage of my flamethrower. It's not just limited to her own abilities. Accelerant works on everything else you use fire. You got weapons that only does fire damage? Boom, Accelerant. You want to change the element of radiation, or say something else dealing with fire? Boom, accelerant. Exactly, her powers extend beyond just her own abilities, which is wonderful. But that's accelerant. You make sure to play duration for that ability. Now, I might as well try Fire Blast, but it initially harms the enemies, and even when I turn accelerant on, it's not guaranteed to kill everyone. Even now, these guys manage to get past it. I could try and funnel them into it, but to be honest, this is not a very great ability. This is our one weakness. This ability is useless. I wouldn't say useless, but not very effective. World on Fire, when I turn accelerant, I'll make my point how powerful it is, because I won't even move now. Observe. I don't even need to move. I don't feel threatened in the slightest. That's only level 35. I could take it further, but that's how powerful you can go without using the accelerant on it. But anyway, now on to Ember Prime. So Ember Prime, no longer in the game, you must get her from other people now, as for the making of this video. She is quite desired, and quite an upgrade too, standing at 100 health, 125 shields, 125 armor, and still 150 energy for power. Ember Prime pretty much improves on everything that the original Ember had, making her more powerful, a little bit more, well, stronger thanks to the armor and shields, and already pre-customized. But unlike most other primes I did in the past, or the other prime, I'll be showing you the ultimate build, which is through polarization. I won't be holding back either. I'll be showing you every mod you'll need to pretty much make her ultimate. Now, other people's ultimate builds may look different from mine. I simply took what could be best used. But anyway, here's my build. Now, I did it with 4 formats, but you can do it with 3 if you keep the aura slot the same. Speaking of which, I changed mine so I can put rejuvenation. I also have my prime continuity almost maxed out, and my prime flow maxed out. I'll also throw on a redirection and vitality since you really need those. I'll also put on the streamline, the intensify, a stretch, and a maxed out transit fortitude. So that's 200% power strength, 125 power duration, 130 efficiency, and 145% range. Oh, I also put the power drift on. I don't think I mentioned that. But yes, with all this, makes for quite a powerful build. Now you can get more power strength if you build it differently, but you might sacrifice your range or your power efficiency duration to do it. Or even your health and shields if you're really crazy enough. But anyway, my accelerant now does times 5 damage. That's a lot. My 800 World on Fire damage, times that by 5, you get 4,000. That's crazy. That'll kill your enemies guaranteed. That's about 4,000 damage a second. So, also, I'll have my Ignis Flamethrower. It does 644. Times that by 5. Well, that's roughly 3,200. Or 3,200. So, with the Ignis, you can still do moderate amount of damage. Not crazy. Turn accelerant, and it's actually a minor improvement. Thought I'd do a little bit better. It does do the job quick enough. I am killing the enemies back there, but just not as quick as I hoped it would be. So again, for the other weapons, meh. Could do better. Still did the job though. Ignis is a crowd control weapon, and maybe just needs a bigger crowd that isn't chasing directly behind me. But anyway, next up I'll be trying Fireball. Now, I'll be trying my accelerant also for this, because just a plain Fireball wouldn't get me anywhere. And even with accelerant, it still won't get me anywhere. You know, at this high level areas, with these level 80 charges I should mention, you really shouldn't be using this ability at all. You pretty much, the only reason you go this far with Ember is to use the World on Fire and accelerant. Even it does stun enemies, your accelerant also stuns enemies, and you just rely on that instead. But yes, don't use your Fireball, not at level 80. It doesn't really help you at all. Just save your energy for something else. Now for the part we all been waiting, World on Fire with accelerant. With this, I again don't even need to attack the enemies. They die extremely quick for level 80s. Just takes a few seconds for them to burn to a crisp. I'm not going to stand still this time, but the enemies do die very quickly. That's the idea, is for you to do damage on top of this while wandering around enemies in close proximity. But that is Showcase for today. Hope you liked the build I made, and thanks for watching.